Shalom, Yasharala. It's your brother Dawud Dawud from GMS Tampa Bay 07, coming at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praises unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakah, Quadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught me the truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you, I can push this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions. And I want to jump into this here quick lesson. I was talking to somebody today. I was actually talking to my mom today. About just things going on, and just in my spirit, I'm like super fed up with everything going on around me, just the hell and like, not necessarily personal hell, but just like the shit that's going on in the Middle East, the homosexuality, Esau and his shit, just all this extra shit going on, when you look around in any direction you look, whether you're looking through the food, how the food is all defiled, Esau's coming down on us in persecution. Your family, everybody's tainted. Everybody you're around, everything you're around is just all tainted, There's nothing left enjoyable. There's nothing enjoyable here, in which you shouldn't be nothing enjoyable here because this isn't your rest, all right? And, I'm not really all too upset about, I can't enjoy anything here because these are the things that make us just want salvation more, okay? You don't want to, if you have anything that you still like here, you're like, well, let me go ahead and finish this here out first, and then I'll go ahead and deal with the Lord. No, there ain't nothing here to enjoy about. There's nothing you can do here that for me and myself, there's nothing here enjoyable here at all. No matter what I do, where I go, there's vexation everywhere. All right. So, this here lesson was sparked by that, Somebody was saying, well, what do you mean you can't take this no more? You want to commit suicide? Like, no, that's not what I'm saying. And I gave him the example. I said, if I committed suicide, right? And if I was gone off this planet, the rest of the people on planet Earth would still be eating fake food. They would still be dealing with this homosexuality. They would still be, all this mess that's going on. You still would have these problems if I wasn't here on this planet Earth. You see what I'm saying? Me leaving this planet Earth ain't changing none of that, And, dealing with reincarnation, we understand about that. So, shit, you just coming right back into some hell. So, that's not the way to try to change this, And even if you do try to change one thing or scenario, let's say you having financial problems with your job. Okay, you go get a new job. You're still under oppression. Your dollar's still going to be devalued. You're still going to be oppressed on whatever job you on, you might be dealing with your woman or whatnot, sicknesses and ailments. I'm going through some sicknesses right at this moment now, and, shit, I ain't never felt so ill in my own body in my life, This shit just sucked. Now I literally just hate this body that I'm in, There's nothing, this whole place is just hell, So we're gonna get into this here lesson dealing with salvation and what salvation is, A lot of people think on face value, oh, I'm being saved from my sins so I don't go to hell. I'm like, well shit, you already bearing the judgment of your sins. You are in hell. All right. That's what you don't understand. Right now you need to be delivered from your enemies. That's what the scriptures is talking about. You need to be delivered up out of this condition that you in. All right. You need to be brought off of punishment. Your parent then put you in the corner and now they got to go, or you done broke some laws and now, you a kid, right? You done broke some laws and now they put you in a detention center. All right. That's basically your hell. You serving out your judgment. And now your parent has to come and get you up out of there, That's you being saved from, your situation, your detention center. All right, so we're going to jump into these here scriptures dealing with this topic, And forgive me for, I'm a little sick at the moment. So, I'm not in the best conditions at the moment. But nevertheless, this is Deuteronomy 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of Yahweh thy power, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. All right. And so we understand this. And there's a lot of these curses that you can read about right here on down all the way through 68, Not only that, there's curses throughout the rest of the Bible here and there, telling us about the types of things we would be going through. All right. And, like I said, you can read through these here curses on your own time and see, it goes far in depth into all these things. All right. I'm gonna jump down real quick because a lot of these here curses all are predicated on, a certain thing, and that certain thing is basically being in captivity under Esau. All right. So, this is Deuteronomy 28:64. And Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth, even unto the other. And there shall, all right, so let me stop there. And Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth to the other end. All right, so this is like one of the main things that you're gonna be saved from. You've been thrown into captivity. Now you have to be regathered. All right. And in the process of this, you would lose your heritage, your customs, and all these things. You was gonna be serving your enemy and all these types of things. So you have to be brought back to your main condition. So like the example I gave earlier is a underage adult committing crimes, you get put in a detention center. All right. In that detention center, you're gonna have to wear like a uniform, be up at a certain time, go to bed at a certain time, eat whatever they give you. All these things, you become so-called institutionalized the longer you be there. You know how to deal the way according to their ways. That's why you see some men that go to jail after so long being in jail, they come out, commit a crime to go back in, or they get out of jail and they're living in a free world as if they still locked up in jail. These are why this is like an example of pretty much how we are, and this is the main stake of us being in captivity. These things are, how do I say it? Giving the example again, we're becoming institutionalized. All right. This is where these Gentiles come from, because again, like in modern days today, you say you've been institutionalized from being in jail. Well, we were sold into our enemies in the captivity. We've been around them so long, we so-called been institutionalized or Americanized, where we lost our laws, statutes, commandments, which constantly breaking these laws, constantly getting these punishments. All right. It says, and Yahweh will scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth even into the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy father have known, even wood and stone. All right. The wood and stone that it's talking about is this, the wood would be that Christianity and that cross. And that stone would be dealing with Islam, dealing with that type of stuff like that. The Kaaba stone and all that stuff. All right. Here in America, the two main religions that, Jake deals with are those two religions, Christianity and Islam, the Nation of Islam. All right. And plus it says basically religions or gods that neither you nor thy fathers have known. All right. Abraham them didn't know nothing about what today's Christianity is. Like, how they portray Christianity today. Back in those days, they didn't understand things like that. Peter and Paul, like, who was that? Peter, when dealing with Cornelius, there's the deal about eating unclean foods. All right. So there was a controversy about that in the sayings, about him eating unclean food, meaning that he even knew at those points of times that it wasn't all right to eat pork. But fast forward to today in Christianity, they eating pork. You see what I'm saying? So there's a difference. They didn't understand what we going through today with the religions that we going through today and how they are. And Islam was created, a couple hundred years after this whole fact, after the fact that these men were walking the planet. All right. It says, verse 65, and among these nations thou shalt find no ease. All right. This is going into salvation, what you need salvation from. All right. So these are the curses that's going to befall you. All right. Or more or less to say, this is the hole that you're going to fall into. All right. So if you reverse it, this is the hole that you have to climb out of. These are the things you have to be reversed from. These are the things that have to be taken away from you. These are the things you being saved from. Put it that way. It says, among these nations. Okay. So you're going to be scattered among all these nations from one end of the earth to the other end. All right. So that's one thing. And among these nations, thou shalt find no ease. Okay. Neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. Okay. But Yahweh shall give thee a trembling of heart and failing of eyes and sorrow of mind. And no matter what country you in, no matter where you living, you still a nigga. All right. You still treated like a nigga and all kind of shit like that. You always going to be the bottom of the barrel. They always, look at you for doing the worst of the worst things, even though you ain't did nothing at all. You just trying to get by, They have it set up to where you just constantly on the bottom, And this, for the real men of the Lord and the real Jake, the real Jake that's out there, this ain't really nothing that you even got to explain, Because if for us to try to even break this down and explain this, all we doing is telling you about every day of our life, what's really going on, Some, when you talk to Edomites and stuff like that, it's easy for them to say that, America's not racist, or everybody's not racist and this and that, or the police ain't racist. They're not trying to kill black people. That's why they don't understand the so-called Black Lives Matter. All right. They don't know what it's like being pulled over, so-called wearing black skin. All right. Even if you, all the way hell, there's videos on the internet where basically the police was harassing like district attorneys. You know, they ain't did nothing wrong, but they, you know, from perception, they just riding by in a nice car, getting pulled over, you know, and they want to know what's going on, you know. Chris Rock talk about this. That's why he drive like a little Prius and stuff like that, because him being a black man driving a nice car, he getting harassed. All right. So, you know, these are types of things that you don't even got to break down or explain to Jake. They already know what it's like. All right. These are just things that, you know, non-Israelites or people that ain't going through this, they wouldn't understand this, you know. But nevertheless, it says, verse 66, and thy life shall hang in doubt before thee. Thou shalt fear day and night, and thou shalt have no assurance of thy life. All right. You know, going back into slave times and stuff like that, it was real hectic in those days. All right. Fast forward till today. I mean, ain't shit changed, you know. You walk out of your house, you don't know if you're going to get shot by the police for, you know, driving without a seatbelt on, or, you know, driving fully and complying with the law. You know, you don't know if, you know, any and everything could happen to you. You can go to your job today and just get fired for no reason, you know, just because Esau wants to. Now your whole livelihood is all fucked up, you know. You don't know if you're going to be able to feed your kids or whatever, whatnot, you know, all types of things like this, man. Esau has it out for you, Jake. Your life is, man, every time you go out the house, that's why you should be praying. Every time you go out of the house, every time you get in the car, Lord, you know, bless me to get to my destination, you know, where I need to be safely. You know, no tickets, no accidents, no harassment from the police and no shit. Like, see, that's the point right there. The fact that we have to pray for stuff like that. Just the fact of that, you know, every day before I go to work, you know, I say pretty much that same prayer, you know. Lord, bless me to get to work on time, you know, safely with no tickets, no accidents, not getting pulled over, harassed by the cops, you know, no accidents of my car breaking down, you know, because this is the how does it say? It says, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest, but the Lord shall give thee trembling of heart and failing of eyes and sorrow of mind. All right. And also, and thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and thou shalt have no assurance of thy life. All right. And going into the next verse, but all these things, you know, some of these things are life threatening, and some of these things just like, man, I don't know how I'm gonna make it through today. You know, you looking into the bottom of your you in your car looking in your cup holders and shit for the last little bit of change under your seats and shit like that. Let me make sure I can put together some change, go get something to eat just to make it through the day. You know, how I'm gonna get this and how I'm gonna get that done, you know. I'm sick as fuck right now, but I mean, I got to get to work so I can, you know, I can't miss no more days of work or I'm gonna get fired, you know. Or I'm sick as fuck, I can't get to work, or I can't make it, you know, I don't have the strength to go to work today, but shit, I gotta eat, you know. These types of things, you know, these are the types of things that Jake is going through on an everyday basis. You know, go to the hood and see why all these Jakes is drinking and on drugs and all kind of shit like that. Why do you think they're doing that? Because they oppressed. They don't understand they understand, like they understand the oppression, you know. This is the things they need to be saved from. Okay? It says, in the morning thou shalt say, well, Yahweh, it would be even, and at even thou shalt say, well, Yahweh, it will morning, for the fear of thy heart wherewith thou shalt fear, and for the sight of thy eyes which thou shalt see. Okay? So basically, you know, I mean, like I was just explaining, man, Jake's over here praying, look, Lord, just bless me to get through this day of work. You know, just bless me to get back home, make it home safely. You know, bless me to get to work and make it back home safely in one piece, you know. You know, going out on just not necessarily the highways and the byways preaching, but just going out wherever you're going, to the grocery store, whatever, you know, Lord, just, you know, make sure I don't get pulled over, harassed by the police and whatever, whatnot, or killed this way, or get caught in so-called gang fire, or any kind of things going on, because Jake is the ones that's always looking over their shoulder for like a assurance of life, you know. Verse 68, it says, and Yahweh shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more, and thou shalt be sold unto thy enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. All right. And thou shalt see it no more is talking about the land of, you know, your own land, Israel. And also the ways of you as being as an Israelite. You're not going to see that type of way no more, because you want to turn away from it. All right. The Most High is going to scatter you, you know, put you into this bondage where you're going to serve as bondmen and bondwomen, a.k.a. slavery. All right. These are the things you was going to go through. All right. So these are some of the things you need to be saved from. All right. Let me get this here. This is Leviticus chapter 13, or Leviticus 26, verse 13. I'm gonna read to, let me see. I'm gonna read down for a bit. It says Leviticus 26:13 says, I am Yahweh your power, which brought thee forth out of the land of Egypt, that you should not be their bondmen, and I have broken the bands of your yoke, that you might go upright. All right. So this is almost like the same conversation that we was just reading in Deuteronomy 28. All right. And so the most, again, he was speaking to him right after we was brought out of Egypt. All right. We was already being saved from Egypt, and now we getting these commandments put upon us, you know. It says, but if you will not hearken unto me and do all these commandments, and if ye shall despise my statutes, or if your soul abhor my judgments, so that you will not do any of my commandments, but ye shall break my covenant. Okay, so if you don't want to follow what the Most High said, like we was just reading Deuteronomy 28, I will also do this unto you. I will also appoint over you terror, okay, so-called white man, all right, whether it be the police department, whether it be a, what do they call that shit, the IRS, your job, all these types of things, man. Look at Jake, man. A real man, he ain't got time. Like, hey, man, I realize now at the age that I'm in now and the things going on in my life, there's a lot of little petty shit out there that just, that shit ain't even worth my time right now, man. There's way more bigger shit going on in life than going out partying and over some dumb shit, you know? Man, motherfucker, we need salvation. The air polluted, the water polluted. Esau is reigning over us. The minds of these people is polluted. It's homosexuals going out everywhere. The mark of the beast is coming. This system they trying to implement. You got all this shit going on. War, nuclear war going on everywhere, man. It's not a time to be rejoicing and partying and no shit like this. There's nothing to how do you say, enjoy about in this society right now, man. None of this shit mean nothing when you living in this place, man. It says, I will also do this unto you. I will even appoint over you terror, consumption, the burning egg, and that shall consume the eyes and cause sorrow of heart. What's funny is my illness right now is dealing with either sinuses or something with my eyes. So I mean, hey man, this sickness, man, in this body is just defiled. It's just, you get older, it's breaking down, man. This shit is just, it's not the way to be living, man. It says, and cause sorrow of heart, you know, basically like the state I'm in now, man. There's nothing to be rejoicing over this shit, man. Even if I was healthy as fuck right now, man, the water's still polluted, the food's still polluted. Even if that wasn't polluted, the minds of these people is still polluted. All right. If that wasn't it, you still got Esau running around trying to microchip your ass. Okay. Even if he wasn't around, you know, we would basically be in salvation, more or less to say. But, you know, with all these things, man, it's nothing but sorrow. All right. And you shall sow your seed in vain. Yeah. For your enemies shall eat it. You know, and that's twofold. You know, you go to your job, you know, you put in at your job expecting to reap the benefits from it. You only get a small percentage, whereas the owner of the company, he get all the how do you say, all the perks from it, you know, like at Coca-Cola, McDonald's. You know, McDonald's that's owned by, you know, Edomites, right? But when you go inside the McDonald's, the majority of the people you see out there doing the footwork, the grunt work, cooking and doing all the stuff, making all the money for McDonald's is Jake, right? A lot of Israelites in there, a lot of Hispanics, a lot of so-called Hispanic, so-called Negroes working in there, right? So they over here, you know, sowing or working in the field, but they not reaping all the benefits from it. They getting minimum wage off of it. Then also with our kids, you know, yeah, we having kids, but who the fuck is reaping the benefits of our kids? It's Esau. Esau is the one brainwashing our kids, turning them into homosexuals, turning them into niggas, drug dealers, and gangbangers to do their work. All right, the war on drugs, man. Studying that shit, man. That shit is the shit that they do with the cartels and Mexicans and shit like that, man. Them Mexicans don't want to do that shit, but they have no other way of doing it, man. I was listening to something that the guy Chapo Guzman was saying. He's like, yo, I know that the drugs, this is like the head of all that shit, man. He was like, man, I know that the drugs is bad, but where I come from, there's no economy. There's no way of making it. Even into this day, there's still no way of making it. So we do what we got to do. And they're not growing cocaine in Mexico. This shit is coming from Colombia. But where's all this being sold at? Basically to America and all these other Edomites. All right? Our people don't like living like this shit, man. This ain't no way to be living. It says, verse 17, I will set my face against you, and you shall be slain before your enemies. That they that hate you shall reign over you, and ye shall flee with none when none pursueth you. Yeah, and so the enemies that's reigning over us is the ones that hate us. All right, goddamn so-called white man, this motherfucker hates you. Why you think he got things called Project Megiddo, King Alfred Plan, Rex 84? All right, the Apostle Gabar put out a video, I believe it was today, talking about persecution coming. Man, he ain't doing this shit for. They ain't got no shit like this for Muslims or so-called Arabs, the people they claiming as terrorists. All right, the only thing they got for them is fucking propaganda on TV showing you that they killing them. They demonize them on TV. They ain't really doing none of them people like that. I mean, they blew up their countries. Don't get it wrong, but you know, most of these people you see them being detained and stuff like that on TV, especially if you go and research these people, they all Americans. They all actual Edomites who just got long ass beards and converted their names over there. And these dumbass Americans just look at a nigga with a big beard and a weird name and just think he's Islamic, you know? But they wouldn't, and these are the same motherfuckers like Duck Dynasty. You know, you change their name to Abdul Muhammad, whatever, and you'd be like, oh, he a terrorist. Right? It says, and if you will not, and if ye will not yet for all this hearken unto me, then will I punish you 7 times more for your sins. I will break the pride of your power, and I will make your heaven as iron and the earth as brass, and your strength shall be spent in vain. Okay? Yeah, your strength gonna be spent in vain. All this working and saving up money to invest in it. Man, all that shit's in vanity, man. You gonna always be at the bottom. Even if you're motherfucking ass Oprah Winfrey with all that money. You can't, why she building schools in Africa? She ain't building up the south side of Chicago where she from. Okay? She ain't doing shit for them. Why is Barack Obama over here making room for these homosexuals, but he ain't doing shit for, you know, what people perceive as his own people over in the south side of Chicago? All right, they ain't helping out, Jake. You can't do nothing to help out your own people, even if you want to. You can't build up on your own strength here. All right, and your strength shall be spent in vain, for your land shall not yield her increase, neither shall the trees of thy land yield their fruits. Yeah, so no matter what you try to put into, yeah, you can start a business. Your business might thrive for a little bit, but overall, it ain't really going nowhere. You ain't really doing nothing with it, you know? Not to say that, you know, that making you something, but you can't become autonomous on that, not become dependent on Esau. You have to go to him for the one of all things. Okay? It says, I will send wild beasts among you, which shall rob you of your children and destroy your cattle, and will make you few in number, and your highways shall be desolate. And if you will not be reformed by me by these things, and will not walk contrary to me, then will I also walk contrary unto you, but will walk contrary unto me, then I will walk contrary unto you, and will punish you yet 7 times for your sins. Okay, so the Most High laid it out for us, you know, Mr. Kanye West, you know, but nevertheless, these are the things, the conditions that's going to befall it, well, that we under right now. I will bring sword upon you that shall avenge the quarrel of my covenant. Yeah, this is why you see the so-called police brutality and black on black violence, all these types of things. Esau running down on us. And when you are gathered together within your cities, I will send pestilence among you, and you shall be delivered into the hand of the enemies. Yeah, so when you want to be in your, you know, in your hoods and stuff like that, what the Most High gonna send crack into your neighborhoods, heroin, whatever, all these fucking drugs. They sending all these goddamn drugs in your neighborhood. You know, all these goddamn, every other, Jay-Z said it best, every other corner is a liquor store or some shit like that. Why every other corner is a pawn shop, a liquor store, drug store? You know, every other corner is a church and a drug dealer. You know what I'm saying? Every time you go into the gas stations, hell, you might go into a little small ass gas station. You know, I know of a gas station, Murphy's at the little fucking Walmart, tiny as shit, right? They got a bunch of like bullshit ass chips in there on one side, you know, some unhealthy shit, and a whole wall of fucking tobacco. All right, like, you know what I'm saying, and cheap ass liquor and shit. You know what I'm saying? All kind of shit to keep fucking Jake up, you know, keep Jake in these states, you know. It says, hold on, where was I at? And when you are gathered together within your cities, I will send pestilence among you, and you shall be delivered into the hand of the enemy. And when I have broken the staff of your bread, 10 women shall bake your bread in one oven, and they shall deliver. Okay, that's going into something a little different, but nevertheless, hold on. Oh, actually, no, it's not going to none different. Slovakia. Like I said, I'm a little sick today. It says, when I have broken the staff of your bread, 10 women shall bake your bread in one oven, and they shall deliver you your bread again by weight, and you shall eat and not be satisfied. You know, and really, you know, that's going into a lot of different stuff. You know, your financial, you work all these goddamn hours and shit like that. You, your partners, whoever, your roommates and all that, you still ain't got enough, you know? No matter how much you got your old lady with the food stamps and stuff like that, that's still not enough. You ain't never got enough to get to really sustain yourself here, you know? It says, you know, this is going into shit. This is, I can read all the way through this. I was going to, but for time's sake, you know, I think I might end this video off here and come off with another video about the salvation. But as I said, you read through these here curses, you know, these are some of the curses that was going to befall Israel. All right. These are the curses that you're living under. All right. So actually, I'm going to end this here video here. And I'm going to make another video dealing with what salvation is. All right. Or what are you going to be saved from? So with that little wilderness here, lesson was edifying. Until next time, I say, call halal Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught me the truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you. I can push this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth. Stay strong. Shalom.